get your mind out of the gutter. This is not that kind of book. Tara used to sleep in bed with Debbie and me, but she would always arrive late. I'm not sure why. It's not like she was returning from a night out clubbing. It was just part of her routine to sleep on the living room couch, then get up and come sauntering into the bedroom at around 2 a.m. She'd then climb up and go to sleep. It really wasn't a problem for her, since she didn't have to get up and go to work in the morning. We had a California king bed, so there was plenty of room, but Tara didn't necessarily see it that way. Rather than look for an available slot, she would lie on top of either Debbie's or my legs. It was actually a comforting feeling, and I was always pleased when she chose me, though it was fairly rare that she did. Fast forward to now, and there are always at least 4 dogs on the bed, though it can be as many as 6. The regulars are Wanda, the Mastiff, Jenny, a lab mix, Cheyenne, a Great Pyrenees, and Boomer, Cheyenne's sister. And these are not small dogs. They represent a little more than 400 pounds of dog. We still have a California king because we can't find anything larger. At 4 a.m., so regular that you can set your watch by it, Bernie the Bernese mountain dog starts to bark, softly at first, then louder. While barking, he puts his front paws on the bed, a signal that we are supposed to lift him up. He could make it up there himself, but somehow seems to consider it beneath his dignity to do so. Debbie and I both pretend not to hear him until one of us, usually me, gives up and hoists all 120 pounds of him onto the bed. The act of lifting him is more than just a question of strength and effort. It's also a strategic challenge, because the other dogs sometimes have to be repositioned so as to find a space on which to hoist him. They are all asleep and would not react well to a Bernese mountain dog landing on them. They are not as tolerant as Debbie and I. Once I've successfully added Bernie's very large frame to the crowd, I've got another challenge. Except for Jenny, who shares my pillow, and Cheyenne, who insists on resting her head on a human's upper torso, the rest of them like to sleep near the other end of the bed, blocking off half of it. That leaves me 3 choices. One would be to lie in the fetal position, knees up, near my chin. That would be fine, unless I wanted to stretch out, or fall asleep, or be able to walk in the morning. The fetal position works fine for fetuses because they get to stay in one place and don't have to lift 40-pound bags of kibble. The second option would be to rest my feet on top of one or more of the dogs, in effect turning them into canine ottomans. That might actually be fairly comfortable until one of them decided they wanted to get up. If Wanda the Mastiff was the one to make that decision, I would immediately feel like I was going into traction, and real traction would soon follow. The third, Tara-inspired choice is the perfect option. I burrow my feet under them. They don't seem to mind. I'm able to stretch out, and I get that comforting feeling of them lying across my legs. Of course, when it's the 175-pound Wanda, or even Bernie, it feels like my legs are propping up South Dakota. But it still works fine, and it is particularly warming on cold Maine winter nights. Wanda has so much padding, I don't even think she notices. Of course, even this has its drawbacks. For one thing, rolling over becomes an impossibility, at least for the lower half of my body. And if one of my foot blankets should happen to drool, it would provoke an unpleasant, even disgusting sensation. In addition to our bed not being the most comfortable of places, it's not the most sanitary of environments either, since dogs have a tendency to shed as well as drool where they sleep.